I'm doing this video to kind of better explain why I'm doing the transition. For quite a while, maybe 10 years, and I know that doesn't it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, because in the 10 years I did dress very well. It would be kind of 11 years now. I did dress very femininely for a short period in high school. I did have short hair, but then I grew it out, as a lot of people saw. That was a different app. And I did a lot of girly things. I dated guys a lot of the time. If you look, any public relationships I had or was, if people knew, I did date exclusively men. And the reason for that being is in my head, that's what I wanted to look like. That's what I wanted it to be. And I did not kind of explore that for myself growing up, because I thought I had to be a girl, and nobody put that in my head. Nobody sat there and said, like, you have to do this and you have to do that. And my mom was very, like, she basically said, you could do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy and it doesn't hurt anybody. You can do whatever you want. But kind of like going into it, I was scared I would lose friends. I was scared I would hurt people. I didn't know if doing this would harm anybody in the process. And, I kind of put it off and just like, let me just, I'll figure it out, like doing the girly thing. It'll come naturally eventually to me. And every time I looked in the mirror, I hated who I saw. And it didn't matter how kind I was, or how I guess people would, like, because I didn't think I was enough. And people would always say, like, you're fine, like, you're good enough, you're this, you're that, you're kind, like, and I believed it. But when I looked at myself, I didn't see that. I just saw some stranger looking at me in the mirror, and it hurt. And so I kind of, like, try to force myself to look at myself, and just, I guess, for a short period of time, like, I guess people would have, like, if outside looking in, would have thought I was conceited because of how much I looked at myself and how much I took pictures of myself. And I tried so hard to make myself feel like that was normal for me. And for other people, it was normal. It's just how I was. But I don't know how many times I would lay and just cry because of how much I was hurting. And, I thought maybe blaming people would make me feel better. Like, oh no, I was, like, oppressed and blah, blah, blah. But that's not true. But only one person knows that I have said that. I didn't go around telling everybody. I just told them I didn't feel right. And I did it, and it hurt me for the longest. And there was one time, I don't remember how old I was, but I had hair that was a little longer than this. It wasn't shaved on the side. It was all long, and I had blonde hair at the top. I think I had to have been 15. And I was wearing a Dago, and I have the picture on my phone. I was wearing a Dago, and I had this hat, and I took the picture, but when I did it, I kind of, like, gave, like, I guess an attitude. And when I did it, I contracted my chest where I couldn't see my breast anymore. And that was the most, like, confident feeling I have had in myself. And I tried to get that going. And I dated, and then I started dating different guys, and I just wanted to look like them. I wanted the flat chest. I wanted, to, I mean, as a woman, I can work out and I can get strong. Like, that's no problem. But to me, that didn't feel right. And when I have the image of in my head how I want to look, still being me, I don't see the girl with the long hair or the pretty makeup. That just never felt right. When I asked a friend of mine to start referring to me as a guy, kind of like as a test, I never felt so happy and so okay. And then I came out to a few more friends, and it felt more and more right. And, I have, like, this image in my head, like, with this beard and just, like, go, like, everything. And it just, that image makes me feel so good about myself. That is how I want to be. That is how I want to go. But I know I looked incredibly beautiful as a woman. But when I look at those pictures, I don't see, I feel hollow, and like it hurts in my chest just thinking about it. I was kind of scrolling through pictures, and then I was just like, maybe I should kind of talk about it. And when I think of being a guy, like, I feel super confident. I feel invincible. I feel incredible. And since being on T, I feel more and more comfortable with myself. I feel happier. I can tell my voice is dropping, and it's like an incredible feeling. Like, and in doing this, I did manage to hurt a few people that said that they did care about me and wanted a future with me in a way that wouldn't be possible if I were to be a guy. And I mean, I don't care about that. I wanted them to be my friend, and I repeated that, but I guess they were not comfortable with that concept. They wanted more, but I was not attracted to them, and I did not care for them in that type of way. And a few years before, I did exclusively want to date women, but I kind of prevented myself from doing that because I did not think it was okay. And it's not because people tell me it's not okay, it's because I guess I was scared to do anything, because when I did date women and I didn't make it very public, I didn't tell anyone, I kind of kept my relationships with women silent because I don't know. I don't know why. I guess I do. It was more like I didn't think I didn't want to be I didn't want to weird people out. And so I kind of just, and I know it's acceptable. I know it's okay, and I see people do it all the time, but I didn't have that kind of courage because I didn't think I was good enough. And yeah, I made a lot of mistakes, and I am working on forgiving myself for those mistakes. But I still just don't feel right. I didn't feel right. Nothing really felt right. Like, I cared about the people I dated, and, you know, but I wanted nothing more than to look like them. And I did a lot of research over the years and tried to gain the courage to maybe consider trying this. And I thought about it more and more and decided to kind of dive in and do it. I wasn't going to test it out. I wasn't going to have whatever. Because being called he and being called Samuel, I have this confidence in me that I don't know how to explain. And thinking about, kind of doing everything and finishing the process and being the full man that I want to be, the image of a man I think, I'm excited to do that. Everybody, when people ask me, what's your dream guy when I was dating, and I always thought, basically me. I'm kind, do everything I can, and I'm quiet when I need to be, and annoying when I want to be. I thought of me as that guy. What's your dream guy? My dream guy is me. I want to be the guy. And I guess in that sense, people are thinking, oh, you just want to date a guy you just want a guy that's like you, so you still can be a girl. No, when I think of dream guys, I think of, the person you want to be, the person you think you should grow up to be. Just because I am changing my gender does not mean I'm changing my personality. I'm going to better myself as a human being at the end of the day. I think this is the happiest I've been in my life with who I am. And when I look at the picture of who I used to be, the girl I used to be, have that hollow feeling in my chest. Like it's not right, like that picture isn't right. And that's kind of what hurts a lot, is that because it didn't feel right. Because I pushed down how I wanted to actually be and just been who I think people wanted me to be. Made things a lot harder for me in life. I did try to talk about it with someone, and years ago, I don't remember exactly how long, but at least like 5 or 6 years. I did try to have that conversation with someone, and they say, "Oh, you're just doing it for attention." And I just kind of looked at them and I'm like, I don't feel like that's the case, because I've only talked about it with 2 people in my entire life before this year. Before the last year and a half. Prior to that, I never said anything. I kept it to myself. I buried it. And I guess that's why I'm like always in my head, because I want to do these things. I want to say these things, but I feel like they're not right. But what I'm doing now feels so right, so perfect for what I envision, for who I am and who I want to be when I continue to grow. Thank you for taking the time to sit and listen to my little rant. I've kind of been putting off this video because I was scared of continuing to push people away or do things that were not, people were not okay with. But after this week, after the stuff that I have heard about me, I don't care anymore. I don't want people's approval anymore. I don't care. If it's not going to make me happy, I'm not going to care anymore, because I'm not going to sit in silence and suffer. I'm not going to do it anymore. So if you are not okay with this process and you want nothing to do with me, that's fine. Go somewhere else. Don't bother me. Don't give your opinion on how my life is terrible, because some parts were bad, but a lot of it was good, because I tried to make the best out of how shitty I felt a majority of the time. If you want to see growth, then stick around. If not, that's fine too. Thanks for listening, guys.